So Venom happened, and it's one of those. One of those movies that probably started as someone's creative vision, but then the studio got worried it wouldn't be a hit or it wouldn't appeal to audiences or whatever. So they just took a big shit all over it and tried to make it a different movie, but ended up just making it a cluttered mess. You know, it's one of those. It's the third in the cinematic universe of, oh god, what did we do to this movie? CU. This movie really reminded me of Fantastic Four and Suicide Squad. And much like both of those movies, get ready for the hot take here, I didn't hate them as much as most people do. I'm not saying they're good movies, but I'm just saying I didn't hate them as much as everyone else did. But why? Okay, so here's the plot. So this company called the Life Foundation has a ship crash in Malaysia. It's revealed that they went on an expedition to another planet where they find a comet covered in symbiotic life forms, meaning that they have to attach to a host in order to survive. They bring 4 down, but one of them escapes, leaving them with only 3 left. Meanwhile, Eddie Brock is a reporter who has a loving fiance and a great job, and I'm sure this will all stay exactly the same by the end of the movie. Eddie is assigned to interview the Life Foundation CEO, Carlton Drake. He interviews him and asks questions that are too hard-hitting for him, so he kicks him the fuck out. The question was about how he does human testing on unreliable, unknown substances and how that's unethical, so that's what the questions were about, so he kicks him the fuck out, just to be clear.
What about the allegations that you recruit the most vulnerable for tests that end up killing people?
Your time to go.
You finished, Mr. Brock.
Was that a threat?
He also gets him and his wife fired because I guess he has that much power. I only got that it was trying to show how influential Carlton Drake was. So at first I was just confused, like, oh, she just happened to get fired at the same time. Then Eddie's fiance, Anne, ends their relationship. It's honestly comical how quickly his life just completely falls apart. All of that happens in like less than 1 minute of screen time. 6 months later, I was taken aback considering it seemed like we had just gotten to the start of the plot and then they skip ahead 6 months. But that's a minor complaint. So Eddie is approached by a worker from the Life Foundation and helps him break into the facility because she realized how inhumane the human tests were.
You had to learn how to hide in plain sight. I'm pretty good at it. But you suck. Whoever you are.
I work at the Life Foundation.
While looking around the facility for evidence, he sees a woman we saw in literally one scene before this one, and will never see again. He tries to rescue her, but she accidentally gives him the Venom symbiote. Eddie escapes with his newfound Venom powers, and he gets examined by his ex-fiance's new boyfriend, who happens to be a doctor. Meanwhile, Carlton, the CEO, as I'll now be calling him, kills the lady who helped Brock into the facility, and she dies. Carlton, the CEO, sends goons to capture Eddie, but he turns into Venom and fights them off.
Hey, Eddie.
Who the hell is this guy?
I'm gonna need Mr. Drake's property back.
Oh,
What are you doing?
I'm putting my hands up.
Take him down.
He finds refuge on the outskirts of the city, and the symbiote starts talking to him. It's just as ridiculous as it sounds.
Look into my eyes, Eddie. The way I see it.
Can we talk about the Venom voice? Because it's so fucking bad. It sounds like a 5-year-old trying to make a monster voice.
Hello, I am Venom.
We
Are Venom. Eyes, lungs, pancreas, so many snacks, so little time. We will eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. You will most faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind.
What the hell are you?
After some shenanigans, he gets separated from the symbiote and gets caught by Carlton, the CEO's guys. As this was all happening, the symbiote named Riot was making its way through Malaysia, and it just so fucking happens to go to the Life Foundation, the same company that brought it to Earth in the first place. That is one of the biggest plot contrivances I've seen in a long, long time. It infects Carlton, the CEO, making him Riot now. Together they plan to send another rocket back to the same place it went before to bring down a bunch of new symbiotes back to Earth so they can take over the world. There's a really fucking awkward kiss scene, and then Venom gets bonded with Brock again. Venom has a monologue about how now he really wants to protect the Earth because Eddie, because he likes Eddie so much. Implying they had some sort of connection, but it seemed like they were only talking to each other because they both didn't want to die. Like Venom was only attached to him because he needed a host, and Eddie just didn't want the thing to kill him, so that was the only reason they were talking to each other. And there's like no semblance of any kind of friendship or connection throughout the movie, so it's just, I remember being surprised when he said that, like, okay, now he's a good guy now, or an anti-hero. He also remarks that he was a loser on his home planet, which is a great way to lessen the intimidation factor of your villain. I was half expecting him to say, I have trouble talking to women. Venom and Riot fight. It's pretty standard. Riot looks like he's about to win, but then Venom wins. Oh my god. It looks like Brock survives when the symbiote dies, but they're actually still bonded together at the end. And they fight crime. And then the post-credit scene happened. This was the only part of the movie that pissed me off, and it pissed me off for two very big reasons. So Eddie returns to journalism and is assigned to investigate the serial killer known as Cletus Cassidy, who remarks that when he gets out, it'll be carnage. Just fuck off. The two reasons I'm mad is because, one, this just screams of studio mandate. We gotta make this a cinematic universe. We gotta set up for something. It's so transparent. And two, because I'm a bit of a fanboy of Carnage, and I don't want to see him done by the people who made this movie. I would like to see an MCU Carnage, or hell, even as Sam Raimi Carnage. I think that was the villain he wanted for Spider-Man 4. I don't remember. But I don't want to see these people make a Carnage movie, because if it's anything like this one, he'll talk about how he was a loser on his home planet, or that how big his dick is, or something. They'll come up with this. He'll be basically a jock. Like Eddie will be like, He bullied me in high school. And that'll be the story. That'll be the rivalry between them. Boom, I just spoiled Venom 2. But that's the main problem with this proposed cinematic universe. What makes a villain interesting is how he plays off the hero in question. I'm sure you could make a good Venom movie or a good Carnage movie, but like, do you really want to? Because what's important and what makes them interesting is how they play off Spider-Man. It's why I'm a little skeptical of the Joker movie coming out next year, because what is the point of the character without the hero? That's not to say that any movie based on a villain without the hero that the villain is based around in it is bad, but one, they don't have a good track record, and two, they're working at a severe disadvantage. They're gonna make a Black Cat movie. They're gonna make a Morbius movie, which I assume are probably gonna be worse than this one. Barely remember any of the characters. The only ones I remember is because I remember the comic book characters. There's nothing to any of them. Nothing much to say about the characters. They're bland. That's it, pretty much. But I don't think I answered the question. Why don't I hate this movie more? Is it just because I like the character, because I'm a fanboy? Well, no, I actually kind of hate how they treated the character, so it's not that. Am I just dumb? Well, I am, but I like to think that's not the reason I don't hate this movie. I didn't hate this movie because it didn't feel cynical enough. Parts of this movie really did feel like someone's vision. A shitty vision where Venom is a loser on his home planet, but someone's vision nonetheless. And that's the same reason I didn't hate Fantastic Four or Suicide Squad as much as most people do. In all those movies, yes, there's a hugely cynical aspect to it, where the studios or whoever tried to fix the movie in post-production, but the vision of the original director or writer or whoever in the particular cases of those movies shines through a little bit. And I'm not saying that's a saving grace or that relieves the movie of all its flaws or that it saves the movie or anything. I'm just saying that's what keeps me, that's what prevents me from hating it as much as everyone else did. So that was Venom. It's bad. That's all that, yeah. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. And also, you should be fucking grateful because you got 2 movie reviews this month, so consider this a treat. Because it's Halloween.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down